Hello, class. Week 7 here. If you're behind, that means you better hurry and catch up because there's only 2 weeks left. If you're not behind, here's week 7. You see my announcement here. I'm actually just going to go right into the week 7 folder and talk out of that. Really, there's no new reading this week. You're just going to review the CBT reading because you got test number 2 coming up. And then obviously you've got your final lesson plan teaching this week. So the idea with how we've done assignments for this class is that you've done all your prep for this week and then you're just teaching it this week, and along with the teaching is really just the test. So it should be an easy week, although I imagine a lot of you are going to be frantically finalizing how you're going to do your teaching lesson and that sort of thing. If you've got some sort of issues or questions or tweaking outside of what we've discussed in the directions, you need to let me know. Several have done that with your lesson teaching and that sort of thing. Test number 2. Let me just go ahead and go through that a little bit. Obviously, you would click on it, do the test. It's the same routine as last time, where you have got 50 multiple choice questions and you're going to have an hour and a half to do them, which means that you have quite a bit of time for each question. But even though it's open book, it is open book, open note, open really everything. It's still, you can't take 10 minutes to find every single question because you'll never get done. You could take 10 hours. And so the idea here is that you're familiar enough with it so you can find the answers, meaning that you've actually done the study and reading and so forth, and this isn't the first time you're going through the stuff. But what I want you to, I'm going to go through here and just give you some tidbits that'll help you prepare for the test, hopefully, and get familiar with where stuff is in the textbook, so that you're more prepared for the test. So some of the things that you need to know for the test are major challenges in teaching the Bible. Be able to discern between a multiple choice question on that. Herzberg has a theory. You're going to want to be able to choose the right response on that. Things like the ultimate objective. What is that? You're going to have some hypotheticals like Rick is a teacher at Southside Bible Church and wants his students to understand and apply the book of Psalms. In order to do this, it would be wise for him to, and you're going to have to choose between different options. Things like selecting your favorite psalm, personal insights, relating it to life experiences, background, so stuff like that. Just so you're aware, that's not really giving you the question. I don't know how you're going to find that from the reading, but there are some questions that are based on things such as that. There is going to be some things where you want to choose and identify something that does not belong to the concept of meaningful learning as found in the textbook. So where the textbook talks about meaningful learning, that'll be very helpful for you. Effective learning domain, that is going to be a topic that you'll have on there. What makes the Bible different from other books? That's a question that'll be on there. What the following best describes the message of the Bible? The word inductive, that's going to be on there. Things like generalization or exegetical idea, that's going to be on there. There's going to be some things like on the hook, book, look, took, so understand the ways hook, book, look, took works. And let's see. You're going to have a question that relates to like cognitive, affective, behavioral, and social domains. So be a little bit familiar with that. Let's see here. I'm not going to give them all away. I'm only through a few questions here. An exegetical idea, you're going to need to know kind of how to pick that out. comparisons and climax and things like that are in your reading. Um, yeah, again, the behavioral, cognitive, affective, and social domain stuff. There'll be several questions on that, so be familiar with that. Lesson aims. From the following lesson aims, select the best behavioral aim. That'll be a type of question that'll be on there, and it'll give you 4 choices. Yep, another question on cognitive domain. Pedagogical idea and the lesson aim. So there's stuff on that and lesson aims. Yeah, again, the familiarity. Sorry, I'm having some. I think I've been wearing these contacts for like 3 months as opposed to 1 month. I tend to do that sometimes. You're supposed to track when your contacts expire, and I would recommend doing that. But this is how I tell when my contacts expire, when my eyes hurt. So then I change contacts. I don't know why it's so difficult, but I think this is one of those days where I need to, and I'm not sure I have any more. So anyway, that was for free. Again, you'll be doing stuff on the Hookbook Look Took. So you'll get questions like, which of the following best describes a lesson plan hook? And then they'll give you options. So you'll have to be able to, discern which one is a hook versus a look or a book or a took. Yeah, domains of learning. There'll be a number of questions on that. Learning domains, so the behavioral, cognitive, social, affective. Again, that there's quite a few of those. So, when they'll give you hypothetical situations. When a teacher seeks to change students' attitudes or values, the domain, stuff like that. Needs assessment. What's the purpose of it? And then those verbs, that verb sheet that we gave you, along with some of the, I think it's referenced in your reading as well. Which of the following verbs is not a knowledge verb that could be used in an effective lesson aim? So that's the sort of thing you'll want to be familiar with those verbs enough to be able to make decisions on what is not a knowledge verb that could be used in an effective lesson aim. So apply that to your lesson aim stuff. There's a question on like application for Bible teachers, and so make sure you're familiar with that section and where to find it. Okay, then there's some questions on what is not a criterion for selecting a method, or what does not fit into the method category, things like that. Which of the following is an example of a close-ended question? See how I'm kind of telling you the question, but there's no way that you know what the question is. So you still have to be familiar with what close-ended questions are in order to answer the question or where to find that stuff. Effective teaching characteristics. You're going to have to discern on a list which are effective teaching characteristics and which aren't. That's, you had that thing that's according to Bredfeld and Richards that you had to read. A key principle in teaching adults. That's a question on there. Which of the following methods is more effective with youth than are other teaching methods listed? When teaching children, the teacher must remember. That's a type of question. A part of the lesson determines if lesson aims are met. Be familiar with the models. A model to assess learning and who was the author or the responsible for that. All right. I'm trying to find another question that I can actually. Yeah, you'll have a question on which of the following is not an effective teaching factor. So make sure you're familiar with the teaching factors. The kind of motivation that refers to students' overall attitude. When teaching youth, what should one not do? The literal meaning of certain words. The literal meaning of words like pedagogy and so forth. When you teach adults, what is not accurate. So things like that. I just made it through the whole thing. If you are not able to do well on a test and you've spent time preparing while using this as a help to prepare, I am sorry. I don't know how better to prepare you for a multiple choice open book exam than that. All right, this week's discussion board now is share what you found most challenging in writing a lesson plan. List your lesson aims so that we kind of know where you're trying to go. Provide feedback to 2 classmates about their lesson aims. So again, that's the same routine. You're going to make your post by Friday and then respond to 2 classmates by the end of the week, which is Monday night. So vent. What's been most challenging about writing a lesson plan? Again, this is to be kind of done in before you teach your lesson. It's not meant to be what was challenging about your students or who you were teaching. It's the lesson plan itself. What was the most challenging thing that can relate to the students, such as, what was most challenging was I was going to have people, everything from homeless to seminary graduates to middle school youth group kids, and I was really hard to focus how I was supposed to organize everything and focus on things like that. You can share about challenges in writing a lesson plan, and it may relate to your audience, but you're not going to be speaking in this discussion on the topic of how it went as much as how you prepared for it and what were the challenges in preparing for your lesson plan. And it may just been like I had a really tough time doing the look or the took. You can make anything you want, but just make sure it's real. You're not making it up. That's when I say it can be anything you want. I don't literally mean anything you want. I mean, what was the challenges for you? So take some time. Some of you are just writing a sentence, or try to spend a little bit of time on that and really share and interact with each other. I know that this class, the discussion boards aren't the main priority as opposed to some of the other classes where the discussions are a more pivotal piece of the learning process, but still put some time in this because it is a big chunk of your grade and we are grading them. That'll be that. So I do want to be clear on what you have to turn in. So this final lesson plan teaching, as I mentioned in the announcement, you've got a couple things. You've got this stake model self-evaluation form and the final lesson plan teaching. Now, when you turn these 2 things in, I do kind of want you to turn it in. I think in some class, I can't remember what I put in the announcement yesterday, and in some classes I've said don't worry about turning it in. Go ahead and turn this in, the final lesson plan. It should basically be what you have already done, and you're just updating things as you need to in here. And then the stake model self-evaluation form, you definitely will be turning in. That helps us like with you're seeing how it went. We're not in certain classes we've had like recordings of the lesson, and that isn't as helpful as this. So we have this, as well as I've posted. So you all turn in these 2 things, but just so you know, I mean, you basically can turn in the same lesson plan that you've done before, and you can tweak things as you need to. You will turn in this stake model self-evaluation form, and then remember, I have added some evaluation questions to help you and to help me grade you more effectively. And those evaluation questions are right here. You just click on that link for those evaluation questions and turn those in as well. Should I just go ahead and open them so you recognize what they look like? So they're right here. All right. So these are these evaluation questions. That's what you got to do, and you'll be all set. So as per usual, contact me if you've got any questions about this, and enjoy your teaching, guys. Some of you are going to stress out. Some of you guys aren't stressed out enough. I mean, this is a big deal. A lot of you, it's the first time you're ever going to teach others. For those of you that think it's way too big of a deal, calm down. It's not that big a deal. You're going to teach many more people, and this is just a part of the learning process, which means you can't lose. No matter how bad you think it goes, you will learn from this experience, and the fact that you are putting effort into teaching God's Word is valuable, and people will appreciate the fact that you spent so much time preparing and spending time with the Lord to do so. Have fun. Bless you all.